The Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiela Tuforsin, has revealed that the much publicized gold for oil policy under the previous administration never involved any actual barter of gold for petroleum products. Speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah, the minister touched on how the policy widely credited with helping stabilize the city was in fact nothing more than a conventional cash for oil arrangement, despite repeated public assurances by the previous administration that gold was being used directly to procure oil to ease pressure on foreign exchange reserves. Dr. Forson insisted that no such barter ever occurred.
They brought in about 2 billion. And then under the NDC in the last 6 months, we brought about 5.1 billion. So you could see the change alone from the gold board angle.
How much of what we're seeing now is also attributed to their policy of the BoG buying from the big mining players?
So BoG buys gold and keep the gold. It is two different. I hear people comparing these two policies, but they are two different policies. It doesn't mean the same.
But we need the gold to buy oil.
One uses local currency to buy the gold and keep the gold in its vaults. We buy the gold, sell the gold, and bring the forex to accumulate reserves.
But you know, the impact should be the same, because the BoG keeps the gold and then ultimately buys oil with it. Oil that would have bought with forex. So then that lessons, you keep the forex that you have, you keep.
I'm not aware that there was a direct barter. Okay. I'm not aware. There was no direct barter.
What about the gold for oil?
It didn't work. It didn't work properly. Bank of Ghana were largely paying the suppliers of those crude oil and petroleum product cash.
Still?
Yes, that was what they were doing. They never paid them with gold. Never. Never.
You found this out for a fact.
I'm speaking to you as the Minister for
Finance, of course. But they had a whole policy running called Gold for Oil.
But I'm telling you, there was nothing gold going out and bringing oil in. They were actually, someone somewhere, sitting somewhere in the Emirates was supplying the, the BoG oil distribution company. And then the BoG oil distribution, the BoG will be paying. They give the city to BoG and BoG pays the dollars. That's it.
So BoG was
pure trade, nothing more than what they were touting. Nothing. It was far from what they were touting. There was nothing, there was no barter where gold was going to change for oil. No, nothing of the sort happened.
But you were in this country at the time, you were the minority leader,
yes,
when the former vice president.
Yes.
So the reason why they had some stability towards, I think, the early part of last year, towards the end, was because of the gold for oil. In fact, the point was that the depreciation would have been worse had it not been for gold for oil.
I'm telling you for a fact, there was no barter.
But question is, how did the overall domestic gold purchase program under the previous administration help to stabilize the economy? And Joy News' research has been studying the International Monetary Fund's comment on the previous administration's gold purchase initiative, which housed the Gold for Oil program. And our lead data and research analyst, Isaac Kofi, joins me in studio with some findings. Kofi, what's the data been telling you? I mean, first of all, I'm confused. I understand and I know what barter is a direct exchange. But if the money is coming from a sale of a particular item, which is, for this matter, gold, if we're using that particular money to buy the oil, what's the problem?
Well, I mean, the IMF will put this better, they will explain this better, and this is the reason why today we decided not to do any refined numbers. We are going to quote what exactly the IMF said in the July report, and they speak about the Gold for Oil program, and as well as the gold purchase program of the previous administration. Let's see how it helped the economy. Did it help the economy, or it was something that put the economy in disarray? So I want us to do this exercise together. Okay. Let's read what the IMF had to say about the Akufo-Addo administration's gold purchase program, MFA.
Right, so the BoG has become a central intermediary in the gold sector. Launched in 2021, the Domestic Gold Purchase Program, which you know as DGPP, an umbrella term for schemes involving the BoG buying gold from domestic producers in local currency, was significantly scaled up in 2024, almost tripling FS Gross proceeds to how much? $2.8 billion, and in addition to $800 million accumulated in fiscal gold, contributing to an increase in domestic liquidity.
So let's end there. So this is the entire domestic gold purchase program, including the gold for oil program. Of course, we understand that the gold for oil program, according to the IMF, they wanted the Bank of Ghana. Their problem was that Bank of Ghana should not be involved. So the IMF did not cast a spell on the entire gold purchase program. What they didn't like was the fact that you had Bank of Ghana responsible for, paying the money, right? So take Bank of Ghana out of the equation. According to what you just read, the domestic gold purchase program was very, very important in 2024. What did it do? It actually almost tripled Ghana's gross forex proceeds to 2.8 billion Ghana cedis. What did it do? It says in addition to that $800 million accumulated in fiscal gold, so you had a portion of the program that was used to accumulate fiscal gold. And then you had also, contributing to an increase in domestic liquidity. It says that the value of BoG's exiting stock of gold has also increased by over $500 million in 2024, lifting the gross international reserve. So if you are talking about the current buffers that we have, what is the IMF position? The IMF says that, well, we know that the legacy of gold for oil program continues to pose risks to Bank of Ghana's balance sheet. So that is the problem that the IMF has with the gold for oil program, and not the performance.
Okay.
For the performance, we have seen how it's helped the forex position by bringing in some $2.8 billion. In addition, Bank of Ghana actually building reserve in gold worth about $800 million. Now let's look at the last aspect, which for me is very important in terms of the MPP administration, what they actually did to stabilize the economy. It says that the new government has expressed strong support for the reforms under the supported program. It says, new government, we are talking here about the Mahama administration.
Karen, yeah.
It says, the authorities, here he's talking about the Mahama administration, see the latter. The latter will be the Akufo-Addo administration, as having played a key role in stabilizing the economy and providing a credible anchor to addressing long-standing vulnerabilities and buttress confidence. This is from the IMF.
So what does the finance minister mean then?
So the finance minister says that, well, we did not see the gold for oil, we did not see direct butter. But what he said, he was very careful. He decided to use largely cash. So if somebody says largely cash, there could be that there were other means. But he is saying that largely, instead of us giving people gold to get oil, exactly, we were rather buying the oil with hard cash. But the question is, if Bank of Ghana was keeping the gold as reserves and possibly using liquidity that it has to buy the oil and keep the gold to build a reserve, what's the difference?
Well, I like to think there must be a difference. If the money is not coming from the sale of the gold, I see what you mean, the backdoor approach, where if they're using the liquidity, or if they're using the monies that they have acquired, if not for the sale of this particular gold, what's the difference?
But definitely, that's why what you read first is important. Liquidity. It means that portion of the gold was actually sold.
Then I come with you then.
Exactly.
There's no
difference. It was actually sold for reserve, right? And the most important thing is that don't burn your reserve to do what? To actually stabilize the city or buy fuel. That's the whole thing. Keep the reserve in a certain form. So if you had in addition to the 800 million accumulated in fiscal gold, and it says that contributing to an increase in domestic liquidity. right? Domestic liquidity. Where you are Bank of Ghana, tripling the FX gross proceeds to 2.8 billion. FX gross proceeds here, we are talking about dollars, right?
Yeah.
What helped it?
Yeah.
It was the domestic gold purchase program. And so maybe we may say that, well, the gold for oil program actually put some sort of, difficulty on the balance sheet of the Bank of Ghana. This, for me, doesn't really look bad in terms of what the gold purchase agreements or the gold for reserve program or the domestic gold purchase program that was actually being run by the previous administration did. And in fact, to actually end this is the essence.
Yeah.
What it's supposed to do in terms of stabilizing what? This is the economy.
And
the IMF says that, well, we have seen what the current government administration has been saying about the previous, in public, they might not say it, but maybe they might tell the IMF. And the IMF has put that in the report. It says that they see the latter as having played a key role in stabilizing the economy. So it's, in simple terms, the Mahama administration is admitting that the current stability we are having is from, a part of that is from the previous administration. The previous administration is also saying that, well, we got stability through gold for oil program.
Right.
So it depends on, the jury is
whether
out there to
gold,
actually judge.
whether we sold it,
Liquidity.
we liquefied it and all of that.
It'll be interesting.
But